What's good, everybody? Welcome to another episode. It's your boy Red in the building. Got my homeboy Try with me.
Yo,
All right. In celebration of our top 150 rap albums list, since you finally hit the top 100, gotta do a little something, add a little spice into it. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna do what we consider to be the top 10 influential rappers, and also, like I said, this was like a last minute. Shout out to Sam for hitting me up, talk about who they got for the unsung season,
mm,
which I'm surprised they're only doing like five or six. I think five or six people, which is like it's getting more and more shorter every fucking year. I'm just like, what the fuck? But we want to see episodes of fucking R&B divas and that fatal attraction kind of shit. I don't care, but
right.
yeah, man. All right. So like I said, it's not gonna be too long. It's just gonna be like motherfucker. We just talk about like this is not like a top 10 favorite MCs or rappers. Just talking about
Mm-hmm.
influential who set the trendsetters and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna start off with my number one, and that goes to the Blast Master Chris Karras one, the teacher. He is he's like my second favorite, but he's to me the most influential
Mm-hmm.
MC. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to battle rap, when it comes to like using hip hop as a community and stuff like that, Temple of Hip Hop from Boogie Down Productions, the Stop the Violence movement and stuff like that. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like he's not afraid to like really get down. Like he is the rapper that just wears hip hop on his sleeve and shit, you know.
Facts.
All right, that's all I gotta say.
All right. I got number 10. I got the RZA. Um, just for what he's done as a pioneer of one of the pioneers in this genre, and greatest producers all time, and having being a solo artist at first as Prince Rakim, and then when he had that EP, "Oh We Love You Rakim," and when that failed, and then he went back to the drawing board, and got a collective from Staten Island known as Wu-Tang Clan, and brought them in the game, and had major labels bidding after them, and just creating that super group and the whole clan with and crafting each solo debut from each member, and he's become a mogul now, and going off and scoring films with Quentin Tarantino, and being an actor in different shows and films, and he's come a long way, and without him there's no Wu-Tang Clan, you know what I'm saying, and
Right.
now they're all they all the whole group having their own documentary on Showtime and having their own show on Hulu, and next for them is definitely gonna be the Hall of Fame. Like I'm expecting them to be announced next year. Like they definitely got to make it in, and like he had a vision and he followed through, and that's why they're Hall of Famers, and he definitely got to be mentioned on the list, and he's a dope MC too. He's pretty good on the mic, and yeah, definitely have to include RZA on this list.
Right, definitely. Yeah, RZA is definitely a fucking favorite when it comes to Wu Tang and shit like that.
Right.
Definitely one of the most influential producers. But I'm not gonna lie, when it comes to producing, my favorite years were like '93 to maybe
Yeah.
2001
Right.
and shit like that. That's just my personal opinion.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause, he's been he. It's not like he lost his step, but he just got like a bit too experimental.
No, he
At
lost
times.
a step though. Like to me, like there's the latter Wu albums when he wasn't producing as much, and he had, it was more, Fourth Disciple and Mathematics. They even got some outside productions from like Moby and Trackmasters. He lost his step.
Mm,
I don't feel like even when you listen like to like the Lost Tapes too, the stuff he did for Nas that was unreleased, it's not even his best stuff, but I do agree. Like from 93 to like early 2000s, he was in his bag. Like I don't think there was
right.
anybody that was touching him at that point. You know what I'm saying? It's debatable. Some people would say Primo or Pete Rock, or you know even early
They
Alchemist.
were
But
up there.
yeah, but he would for those Wu solo albums alone, I think he was in his bag. Like, you know what I'm saying? The Cal and Cuban Link and Liquid Swords and Iron Man, Supreme Clientele. It was bananas. You know what I'm saying? So I think he did lose a step, but I still feel like he has stuff in the vault that he could take out at any time, and because I'm pretty sure he has, like, I mean, he lost beats in the floods, but I think he also got unreleased stuff that we haven't heard yet.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
if and ever, at some point, if we ever hear that, I think that'll be like, yo, like RZA still got it. He was saving some treats over the years for us, but yeah, he had to make the list.
Right. All right. My number two, I gotta go with my favorite rapper of all time, Rakim. Shit
Yes,
like that. I mean, I've expressed my love for Rakim a lot on this channel. Just how him, Pain, and Karis One ushered in like the second wave when it came like to new age school, the new school, whatever you want to call it, that 85 to 92 period and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Paid in full. Eric B. as president, just the way how he introduced the whole internal rhyming and shit too.
right.
It's just a fucking step up. You know what I'm saying? So that's my number two.
Number nine, I got Will Smith, the Fresh Prince.
Mm,
Um, he's come a long way, and starting off with Jazzy Jeff, and as a group, a rap group that they didn't do hardcore and street raps like that, and I felt like they got crucified in the media for that. Some say they were coming off as Disney rap, like Ice T put it back in the day, and but they made he was I think the music was centered around fun loving rap, and at times there was a message, and Will always had that charismatic personality, and Jazzy Jeff was a dope DJ, one of the best still, and a dope producer, and when he branched out and did neo soul stuff for Musique and Jill Scott and them, and Will, you know, he just elevated. Every year he got better, and became a superstar in Hollywood with Fresh Prince of Bel Air and movies like Independence Day and Men in Black, and um, The Pursuit of Happiness, and he's just he was like what rappers aspired to be. They were chasing that bag to be like Will Smith, and he set a bar high early, and he's able to come back to rap and do some great solo albums, and he's always managed to maintain to stay relevant, no matter what decade it's been, and his kids, Willow and Jaden, they've branched out and done music and movies and stuff, and he's definitely a Hall of Famer. He's another one that needs to be in a Hall of Fame, and you know, again, I think like a lot of rappers now that go into television, they aspire to be like, well, Ice T. He's been on Law and Order for like 20 something years. I never thought I would see Ice T playing a cop of all people on Law and Order for 20 years, and 50 Cent, what he's done in television. You know what I'm saying? And there's so many others that they branched off the television. Even I mentioned RZA before, and Will started that. Like before that, it wasn't a thing for rappers to, go from music to television, and Will did that successfully. And he has his own production company now, producing shows and movies and stuff. And um, I think definitely like as an artist, if you're an artist, and if there's anybody that inspired you, I think Will definitely got to be on that list just for what he's done in music and television, and to be like a role model for kids of any generation. So you know,
yeah, I definitely agree with you about Will Smith being the influence and whatnot.
right?
All right. My number three, I'm gonna definitely go with EPMD.
Yes,
Definitely one of the most influential, one of the most innovative rap duos of all time. Like you talking about artists who like wrote their material, produced their shit, like pioneered a whole crew, which consists of rappers like Redman, Keith Murray, Legal, you know, working with like Dave Hollister and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Das Effects as well. Just definitely, I felt like EPMD birthed like a lot of styles in
right,
hip hop and shit. And I really, really, really fuck with like a lot of their material, especially their first four albums, and then some of their solo albums and stuff like that too. So yeah, man, EPMD, man, that's my number three.
all right. We going from 1 to 10 or 10 to 1?
It don't matter. I'm going for one to say you can do 10 to 1.
All right. Number 8 is Queen Latifah. Um,
She's
Latifah
on
to
my
me,
list too.
Latifah just brought a sense of sisterhood and women positivity to rap. When she came out with All Hail the Queen, and you know, we didn't see that before, and she carried herself like a queen. She's always carried herself like a queen. You never heard of her any like crazy gossip about her in the news, and you know, just her being a part of the native tongue crew that was also great. Like she had that backing from the men, and she talked about different issues in her music, and especially for young women, and you know what she's done in music, and again, like going to films, and having her own television show, her own daytime talk show, and she's still relevant now. I've been watching The Equalizer since she's been on there, and that's a show that I never watched before, and I'm like, oh, Queen Latifah's gonna be a part of it. Let me watch it, and it's been good. And that's like the epitome of what she's the epitome of what like women, black women in this country should, how they should carry themselves, and she's always been a class act, and truly a legend and a queen, and she's awesome, man.
Mm, definitely. My number four, I'm gonna go Pac on this one.
All right.
I definitely know where's everything you've heard about Tupac was true and whatnot. It's definitely a revolutionary when it comes to hip hop. And I definitely felt like he was the one where he wore his emotion on his sleeve as well too. Like he studied from the greats and then he applied it to himself and shit as well too. You know what I'm saying? Definitely when it came to hip hop, his image alone, going from like the backwoods cat, and then especially when he's like got more successful, got more known music wise, he started adapting more of the Versace and shit like that too. So it's just like I've always felt like Pop was definitely one of like the brightest. It also definitely a controversial figure himself as well too. You know what I'm saying? So I'll definitely add Tupac to that.
Dope, dope. Let me see. I got for number 7. I got Ice Cube. I think Ice
He's on my
Cube.
list too.
Ice Cube. From where he came from. O'Shea Jackson, for being a part of one of the rap's best groups, NWA, and them saying what they wanted to say, and still selling when there was no radio and TV airplay, and going solo, be the first one to go solo, and then he had his beef with his group, and speaking on topics that's still relevant now in the black community, social and political issues, and just being comfortable in his own skin when white America felt like he was a thug, or he was a problem, and Cube always did it his way, and I always respected that about him, and he never tried to sell out, and again, like going from where he came from all the way to Hollywood, and doing Hollywood films and television, and he's well respected. And he was a dope ass lyricist. He has many classics, and he just showed you like yo like coming from the hood, and he made it, and that's like the American dream. Being in poverty, and getting yourself out of poverty and making it, and definitely a legend.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Cube, definitely a legend and shit like that. I'm gonna get more into what I think about Cube later on as well.
Right.
Okay, so my number five. Hmm. You know what? I'm gonna definitely talk about fucking Chuck D, Public Enemy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Um, in my opinion, when it comes to conscious hip hop, no one does it better than Public Enemy.
Hmm.
They were really the ones that brought that political edge into hip hop. Like, yeah, you had people like Grandmaster Flash, the Furious Five. Um, what was that one other group? They did that song. I can't think right now, but yeah, you had groups like that. But I felt like Public Enemy, they were really put a step foot forward and expanded it and made hip hop not just about rhyming and partying and
Right.
stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And they just I mean, escorted a new era where they made hip and want to make hip hop more into like educational listeners and shit like that too. And I feel like Chuck D to me has the best voice in hip hop history. That commanding voice. It still sounds the same to this fucking day
Right.
and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So um, it's crazy because my favorite album from them, I'm not even gonna hold you, it's probably gonna be Fear for Black Planet and shit like that too. But at the same time, maybe the first, I want to say 5 albums,
Hmm.
throwing the Greatest Misses, Terminator X's albums,
Yeah.
and even Chuck D's. It's pretty good discography
Hmm.
and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Just them tackling like racial equity. Nelson Mandela. You know what I'm saying? Hell, Welcome to the Terror Dome
Hmm.
alone. When they're talking about the whole Professor Grip doing the anti-Semitic remarks and shit like that too. And then that to me is just as equivalent as like Fleetwood Mac's The Chain and
Right.
stuff like that. Like them as a group just holding together. And that's one thing I got from that.
Yeah. Definitely. Number six for me is J. Cole. Just J.
Mm.
Cole. Him. Being from North Carolina, and moving up to New York and getting that deal with Rock Nation, and not letting the whole power of not the power, but like the influence of Jay-Z overshadow his talent and career, and to sell, to go multi-platinum without no features like that, and and still have that co-signed by Jay is just great. And you know he's his own producer and his own MC. And I just saw a complex, um that a complex like MC bracket with Benny was hosting it. And they had J. Cole in there with like Conway, and Nas, and you know uh, uh what's dude name, JID, and a whole bunch of others. And Conway made it. Conway and Cole made it to like the end. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, Cole could definitely. They don't mention Cole enough. Cole could definitely hang with Conway lyrically, and he's done a lot already. You know what I'm saying? Like if he retire now, he's already one of the best to me, and especially for this era. And you know he you know what I'm saying? Like there's so many other avenues he could have went. He could have depended on Jay Z for a feature and all that to jumpstart his career, and he didn't do that. And he was killing them with the mixtapes first, and then getting signed, and getting elevating with each album. And he's definitely one of the best. And he's not just a lot of these some of these rappers now is like they just spitting just to spit, and they're not saying nothing worth like re-listening to. But
Mention.
yeah, like Cole is touching deep on topics in his life, and he has multiple classics, and that's why I could keep going back to Born Sinner and 2014 Forest Hills Drive and the warm up and Friday Night Lights, because he has timeless music. You know what I'm saying? And it's not all about just spitting bars and that's it. It's like what kind of substance and messages are you leaving in your music forever? And you know he's definitely one of the best.
Definitely one of the best as well.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, you know what? I'm gonna give my thoughts on Cube and shit like that while I'm at it.
yeah.
Um, to be real with you, I feel like Ice Cube. Like I'm one of people most of the shit that you said, but yeah, Ice Cube for me as a writer, as just like entertainer and stuff like that, rapping. I mean, he just brought that raw attitude to hip hop and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Uh,
just picture the comedy of Richard Pryor mixed in with like the social conscious of Public Enemy, but
yeah,
still maintain like the gangster rap attitude, of NWA and stuff like that. That's what you got from Cube.
right.
And one thing I've always loved about Cube, even to this day, was just the way how he's a rapper. Sometimes like it might come off. Let's just say he's a rapper that might say some simple shit, but
Right.
it's just the way how he says it. It will just be more commanding and powerful, like to it like a Chuck D, but with more edge and shit like that. That's the best way to put it. And yeah, that's my opinion about Q.
Yeah, that's definitely, I agree. Um, number five, I got Kanye West. He have people can say what they want about Kanye, and I feel like he does stuff purposely to get people's attention and to say to get people to talk. But Kanye was a driven artist, and just watching that Genius documentary and seeing for him to document his life and career while it was going on, and before even getting signed, it was like you could tell how driven he was to get signed and to be one of the best, and you know to come from where he came from, Chicago, and to make it out of there, and you know be one of the most like influential right now in the game, is like he's definitely a great. You can tell he's a great person. I think the money and the fame uh had something to do with his craziness or whatever, but um he definitely was driven to be one of the best, and great producer, and he was dope on the mic, and you know he's worked with just about everybody in the game that people looked up to, and in different genres of music, and he's another mogul to go into the fashion industry and do many things, and you know we need sane Kanye back. I don't think he's all the way back. I think he's still there, but I think just it's just some issues that Kanye has that you know turn people off. But for his drive, I think he was definitely one of the most driven to ever do it, and he's great.
Yeah, man. I can say what I want to say about Kanye. One thing I would never disregard is his fucking genius and shit like that.
Right.
But at the same time, it's just like musically wise, I just feel like I don't know what happened after maybe 2012 or shit like that. Just the
Right.
person once the personal life started colliding more with the music, it was just like
Hmm.
okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can respect you for picking Kanye.
Yeah.
All right. This is gonna be a surprise, but I don't give a fuck. Pharaoh Monch is my next choice.
All right.
Yeah. This one is Pharaoh Monch has always been like a personal favorite when it comes to an MC and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Um, Organized Confusion days all the way to the solo. I just always found it to be one of the most authentic, distinctive MCs in the history. Like just this atmospheric way of rapping and stuff like that. Just the multisyllabic rhymes, and also just like his lyricism was just what really cinema buff kind of set him up and Prince Poe in a different wavelength between other lyricists at that same time too, because I can't really classify Organized Confusion with like a lot of the popular cats.
Mm.
Like at the same time, I can't really put them with the Tribes or with the De
Right.
Las and shit like that because they were really the beginning of the whole atmospheric, complex lyricism
Mm-hmm.
that would range and influence cats like from the Jizzas to the MF Dooms.
Right.
Hell, I would even throw in the Lupes and shit too. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Facts.
One of my all-time favorite songs Organized Confusion ever done was on Bring It On
Mm.
from that Stress album and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And just the way how he was rhyming, following that drum pattern and stuff like that too was just so fucking ill. You know what I'm
Facts.
saying? Definitely and he's an MC I never hear a lot of motherfuckers put up there when it comes to like lyricists and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And one thing about everyone's favorite Kumo D and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm.
he was right when he gave love to the cats like the Pharaoh Monches and the Mysticals
Mm.
and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
which Mystical was very close to making this top 10 list, but
Okay.
I'm gonna say my thoughts on Mystical later on.
Yeah, that's a good choice. Yeah, I don't know why people don't mention Pharaoh with Black Thought or Most Definitely. I don't know.
Especially with the Black Gods. Don't even get me started on.
It's like Black Thought has become the goat for freestyling and bar. I don't. I'm like, did people not hear the Roots 20 years ago? I don't understand
And
what
they don't
happened with
mention
him.
the roots 90s to like Eldelf, Half Life,
Right.
Do You Want More? But it's always, oh, we love Black Thought, but y'all can't name a single root song
Exactly. Exactly.
today.
So
But
what
y'all
was it?
see him motherfucking Jimmy Fallon.
Is it the? I think it has something to do with the Hot 97 freestyle. Like once people saw that, it's like they just, I don't know, like it's like they been doing this forever. So I don't see what's different with this Black Thought and Black Thought from the 90s.
I also think it's like with Questlove being in the Rock and Roll Hall of Music,
Mm-hmm.
is giving like the roots more of a fan base and stuff like that too. And
Right.
they automatically see Black Thought connected to Questlove
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that too. But when people think of the roots more and shit like that, they will think of Things Fall Apart, Onward,
Right.
and stuff like that. Because Things Fall Apart, especially was the whole beginning of those Soulquarians.
Yeah.
He was working with Commons and the Erica Badu's and shit like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Right.
That's like the hipster's favorite Roots album.
Right.
You know,
So I'm like, did they rediscover Black Thought? I mean, because he was doing this way back on Do You Want More and Organics
Organics.
and
Yeah.
Illa Devil. I'm like, what is so different with Black Thought now than back in 92, 93? I don't understand because I'm like, somebody got to explain this to me. It's like everything now is all centered around, oh, Black Thought this and Black Thought. I'm like, he's been doing this.
Yeah. And I'm going to say one more thing before
Mm,
I head out. It's like, it's crazy because these hip hop heads and stuff like that, they automatically think the Roots were the only hip hop band to play
right.
instruments. Cough, Questlove, not knowing
Exactly.
that Dr. J played piano. I'm just looking at
Mm-hmm.
myself like,
Mm-hmm.
how the fuck you supposed to be this hip hop
Mm-hmm.
historian, but
The
you don't know
Beastie
that
Boys.
Dr. Dre played the piano?
The Beastie Boys. They started out like a punk rock group and they play piano
That's a
and
Sonic,
all that. Yes, that's the Sonic, right?
which I'm sick and tired of motherfuckers disregarding this a Sonic too. But you know what? We might have to do a whole video of this whole
Yeah.
thing and shit like that. Because like I said, I love the Roots. I love Black Thought, but this whole renaissance of Black Thought being like the greatest
Mm-hmm.
MC I just have to. He's not over. He's not touching Redman or Busta. Hell, he's not even touching fucking Big Pun. I'm just gonna
Mm,
be real.
mm. I don't know, cause I hear people act like he's like the best rapper of all time now. I'm like, but y'all wasn't saying this 20 years ago. It was like Nas
He's
and Jay
good,
Z.
but he's not. He's on my list. Like don't get me. He's
Mm,
on like my top 25.
mm,
But I will put like 10 other MCs over Black Thought. LL Cool J
mm,
included. I'm
mm.
being real. I've always thought this.
This will be a heavy debatable discussion about Black Thought.
Hey, look at that. Somebody heard everything the Roots have ever done. I've even
Mm,
heard the weak ass solo albums. I said it. The weak ass solo albums. I've
mm,
said it and shit like that. So I don't give a fuck if niggas get
mm.
mad at me.
Jadakiss
Name
ain't the only
me.
one I could. Jadakiss wouldn't be the only one I could put on a great versus performance. It would be Black Thought.
Oh,
You
hell,
know?
Black Thought against Jay Z. Fuck it.
Wow, that would be something.
Who would y'all pick?
Mm, I don't know. I'm torn. I'm torn.
Cause Thought's from Brooklyn too, right?
He from Philly.
Oh, damn, my slow ass. What the fuck am I talking about? Okay. I was thinking about fucking Most Def. Excuse me.
Most Def is good too.
Hell, Most Def. Another
Yeah.
complex lyricist no one mentions. Well, he gets his respect, but
Right.
not enough in my opinion. Let's just be
Not
real.
enough. Not enough.
But yeah, that's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say.
All right, here's one. Number four. I have another dope spitter that is right up there with Black Thought. Conway. And just the simple fact that Conway got shot in his neck, and he ended up having Bell palsy, and rhyming the way that he do. Nobody else could do that. You know what I'm saying? Like this dude
Right.
is like speaking like on his at from the side of his mouth literally, and he spit like some of the dopest bars in rap for his disability, because that's what it is. Is this one once he got Bell palsy, it was like a disability for him, but he managed to work himself through that disability and become one of the hottest MCs in the game. And I'm looking forward to his Shady debut finally when it drops. And I think for him having that disability, it didn't stop him, and that's another guy that he showed that through his trials and tribulations, that he managed to you know triumph through all of it. And yeah, I love Conway, man. I think Conway is definitely one of the best. And you know there's MCs now that there's MCs that they don't even they can spit bars, but they don't say a damn thing really. And Conway has a disability, and he's like speaking his truth and talking about his life and growing up in Buffalo with West Side and Benny in him, and definitely one of the best. So just for that alone, I think he should be an inspiration to a lot of people. You know what I mean? Like most people
You
they
know
would have.
what?
You know what I mean?
I actually am not mad about that. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
Conway, I feel like Conway to this day is just one of the quintessential MCs of his generation and shit like that.
Right.
And Griselda, man, Griselda itself is just like a force right now.
Oh yeah.
I'm not even gonna hold you and shit like that. And
Facts.
lyricism, you can tell like they paid attention to the whole Raekwon's, the Coogee raps and shit like that, which I fuck with. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Facts.
all right. Um, I'm sorry, my record player is
Your record player's
acting.
playing.
It's. I think it's trying to play by itself. I'm just like, is it even plugged in? Weird. Weird. Okay. Um. Okay, we had number. I'm at number 8. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about Queen Latifah now since I already mentioned it. She's on my list.
All right.
So yeah, as a female rappers go, Queen Latifah is always gonna be my number one. Next to MC Light and shit like that, because it seems like these days people just think Lil Kim and Foxy Browns and Nicki Minaj are the
Mm-hmm.
only female rappers. They don't even mention Missy
Right.
like that. You know what I'm saying? Which
Right.
again, Missy was very close on making this list as well, but I felt like Latifah, just like Ice Cube, she definitely laid a foundation when it came to like writing and just image and just the socially conscious that she added when it came to like the whole feminism in hip hop and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
you have songs like UNITY, Ladies First, and shit like that, which those are anthems by itself, but she
Right.
can really get down on the mic like Wrath of My Madness,
Mm-hmm.
King and Queen Creation. Like, I'm gonna be with All Hail the Queen lyrically. That's her
Right.
best album lyrically, bars.
Right.
If I'm just basing my whole list on bars, that's her best fucking album. But artistically, I'm gonna go with Black Rain. Because Black Rain was actually like one of the first times where she really successfully combined the singing and the rapping because with the Nature of the Sister album, which again a very underrated, and mind you, rappers who rapped and sing, rappers who rapped and sung before Lauryn Hill and before Drake. I just have to put that
Mm-hmm.
out there. But I'm just saying, like, with the Nature of a Sister album, that was a good, but you can tell, like I mentioned, it had the Walking with the Panther syndrome and stuff like that too, which
Right.
pretty much, it was a bit too R&B, but it was still a dope album
Yeah.
because
Definitely.
yeah, Latifah's had it up to here, which
Mm-hmm.
you could tell Tretch had his hand on writing that track. I'm not
Yeah.
even gonna hold y'all and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Fly Girl,
Mm.
but Black Rain.
Yes.
You can go from Weekend Love to fucking Listen to Me. I mean, whoo,
Fire.
damn that Motown budget. Let me stop. But yeah, man, I just felt like Queen Latifah definitely, in my opinion, should just definitely get her respect and stuff like that. She came out saying she was a fucking queen
Yeah.
and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Because there'll be like a lot of female rappers who they won't say they were queen right from the gate, but then when they try to prove point, that's when they want to pull all that shit. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna leave my names out there and stuff. But hey, Queen Tifa, my favorite female rapper of all time.
Yes. Definitely. Number three for me is the 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 one person to start a whole coastal beef and got everybody involved in it.
Tim Dog.
Tupac. Tupac.
I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm just being silly.
And Tupac was, man, like, he's beloved, but I never seen one artist get so much love from both coasts. And every interview, everything he said, every person he was affiliated with, it was like he just automatically got attention. And coming from being a dancer for Digital Underground, and then going out solo on his own, and he just became bigger. The fame got more, he got more exposure with every album, and he just became one of the greats in a short amount of time. And being the son of a Black Panther, he had a lot to say. He was very militant, and again stood for social and political views in the Black community. And you know, I think at times he was misunderstood, and with the money and the fame, it kind of overshadowed what he was really about. And the stuff like, the many like things that he got arrested for. And I think he was a very smart Black man, and he got misunderstood at times. And when you get money and fame, I think that's going to be a distraction as well. And um he was definitely one of the best. This man has many classic albums, and he's a goat as far as I'm concerned. And you know, he made you feel whatever he was going through on a record, whether it was Brenda's Got a Baby, or I Get Around, or Ambitions as a Writer, White Man's World, whatever a song he was whatever topic the song was about. That's what he made you feel. And he had many facets to himself than just like being a thug. And we will never have another artist like Tupac. Like, he was just one of a kind. He was, even back then, he was just different from everyone else. And he had his own style and his own lane. And many have tried to copy, but they couldn't be Pac. And his transition again to like movies. I definitely think he would have had an Oscar or a couple of Oscars by now if he was still alive. And I saw the transition when he played Bishop in Juice, and when he was in Above the Rim, and you know even gang related was good, and I just saw
Mm.
the transition, and I think he would have had a couple Oscars, and he would have been huge in Hollywood right now. Probably bigger than Will Smith, and we lost a good one. This man was multi talented, and he had everything planned out for his crew, his crew, the Outlaws, and we lost a good one. Definitely one of the best. And I even heard like there was people saying that he was gonna leave rap and go into politics, and that would have been crazy if we had him in politics. And he knew a lot, and I think this the hip hop community needed him, and I feel like the whole world needed Tupac. You know what I'm saying? Because he just was kicking knowledge from the jump, and I used to always love to hear him speak in interviews and stuff. So
Yeah, man, that most
yeah,
definitely. Um, I already said what I said. I don't want to make this whole Tupac
right,
conversation and shit, but you know what? You can have Tupac without talking about Biggie, I guess. So that's my next choice.
all
You saw that picture I sent you on this
right. I saw that hammer. Wow.
shit. Anyway, Biggie is my next choice because I'm not gonna hold you. Biggie was just a fucking lyrical giant, no pun intended.
Okay.
Um, just his storytelling, his charisma, his flyness. He had so much aspects about himself. Like, because when it comes to these MCs, sometimes they will just adapt to one persona and just run with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, fucking, I love Kane, but Kane was just always the smooth R&B ladies man and the smooth player, but he can really get down and shit. But Biggie, he will have like a lady song, then he have like a hardcore song, then we have a track like Unbelievable, then he would have like a storytelling song like I Got a Story to Tell. Then he would have a song like Play a Hater and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like his style was just so unique and stuff like that. Now he was not the first fat rapper to have that archetype because let's be real, he got that shit from Heavy D, and so he was influenced by Heavy D with that shit.
Mm,
But like Biggie, the way how Biggie did it, like he knew he was fucking ugly and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And he
right.
just used that to his advantage. And also, what I liked about Biggie was just his business savvy and stuff like that. How
Yeah.
just putting artists on and stuff like that too. And because not many people know, but he had his hand in not just putting like Junior Mafia, but like Cameron, the Foxy Browns and shit like that.
Right.
Who else? Who else? Damn, I can't. Oh, helping out with Ari the Rugged Man and shit like that too. So it's just like definitely again another lyrical masterpiece and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm just gonna say this once and for all. Ready to Die and Laugh After Death were both classics. Just saying
Oh yeah,
that because
definitely.
it's niggas that I just want to love to this life after this talk about. Oh, it's too pop. Because to them hip hop died in 1996 and it was born in 1992. So 1997
What?
was the mainstream shiny suit era years and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But uh,
There was still great albums that was coming out during that time. So you know,
exactly,
it was shiny suit era for mainstream. But if it wasn't all about that, then it was easy for you to get the other dope albums that was out. So
exactly.
OC Jewels that came out in '97, and that wasn't
Camp
mainstream to
Lows,
me. Can't blow.
Uptown
Exactly.
album.
Classic album.
Hell, I'm gonna fuck with your mind. Prince Paul's long ass title album.
You
Hmm.
know.
And then that was also the year No Limit really broke out in the mainstream
Mm,
because
right.
Master P had the fucking Ghetto D album.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like I'm not even gonna lie, I feel like people give 97 bad reputation because of Bad Boy and No Limit, just what they were
Yeah.
doing to the whole mainstream. Because I'm not gonna hold you, I wasn't the biggest No Limit fan growing up, but
Mm,
I want to say like the past 5, maybe 6 years, they kind of grew on me and shit like that.
right.
Especially artists like fucking Sick the Shocker
Mm,
and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because
yeah.
I always loved Mystical,
Mm,
and I always loved Masterpiece Richmond material and stuff like that. Because the Richmond material was like the mid '90s, like Ghetto's Trying to Kill Me,
right.
Ice Cream, and not a lot of people want to mention that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because they think his first album was Ghetto D, but real is no. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. I mean, that's all you saw. You saw it was Bad Boy and No Limit, and '97 was like, the start of like the Blink era, and you know, and people going out of their way to go mainstream that they really didn't need to do.
Right, because like a lot of East Coast cats were
Mm,
really trying to do what Bad Boy was doing.
right.
Um, like Onyx with the Shut 'Em Down album had a little shiny suit era
Hmm.
esque,
That
which
was that was
it
that was
wasn't
dope.
really noticeable to the point where it
Mm,
was unlistenable. But compare that to Das Effects' Generation Effects album. I
oh
mean,
Lord.
we'll get back.
Wow. Yeah. Number two, I got Nas. Just this legend, making it out of Queensbridge and becoming the best, MC of all time, and you know, he didn't on the first album, it was great. It's the best rap album to me ever, and it didn't go commercial, but he kept his artistry on that album, and then when It Was Written drops, it was commercial and people was in an uproar, and it's still a classic to me. And that was I think if it was written in Dugan, he probably would have been broke. Like he had to make It Was Written a successful selling album, and he did that, and again, like, to make it out of the projects, and one of the most dangerous projects, if not the most dangerous projects in the country, and to make it successfully out of there, and be a entrepreneur now with restaurants, and I think he was teaching seminars at a Ivy League school at one point, and
Yeah,
he's done a lot. He had his own record label and had his own artists, and
twice.
he twice, and he's still relevant in this game, and coming out with albums, and he did documentaries. He did a Video Music Box documentary, and that was a great one.
I still
You
need to
know,
watch that probably tonight
you
or
ain't see it?
tomorrow.
Oh yeah, you got to see that. That was great.
Yeah, I know. I was so busy trying to work on this song and stuff like that. Let's just say that.
Right. And yeah, and it just he's done everything, man. Like he's collaborated with everybody, and you know just he was ill lyrically from the jump, and he's still kicking those ill bars now, and yeah, man, he's definitely one of the best, and you know just to still be around and be relevant in today's culture, like, after all these years, is just it's a blessing, and I'm glad to see that he's still out there, and doing his thing, and yeah, it's great.
Definitely. Yeah, man. Nasty Nas, Nas Escobar. Gotta love him and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Definitely gotta finish up his discography very soon. Um, my last choice, I gotta go with Brad Jordan, Scarface, man.
Dope.
Um, again, this is another MC I've expressed my love for throughout this whole fucking channel for years and stuff like that. He's definitely. I said this once, and I'm gonna say it again. The Ghetto Boys were really responsible for bringing mental awareness to hip hop and shit.
Right.
Um, just how the songs. Because I've heard many people want to consider them more gangster rap, which I don't mind that, but I've always considered them more horrorcore
Right.
and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And they was so dope because it's like the stuff The material was just them talking about them going crazy, and they were going crazy, just questioning their sanity. And with Scarface, he was very adamant in that because let's be real, Willie D, when it comes to Get a Boy, he was more like the Mac Daddy. He was the sex symbol. He
Mm-hmm.
was like the controversy and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
he had a filthy mouth. Bushwick Bill was more of the comic press. He was the I won't be. He's like a more demented Easy E. Let's just be real. Like, which we still gotta do a favorite book Bushwick Bill versus or moments and shit like that. When's his birthday actually? Let me look that up. But yeah, and then I'll even throw in fucking Big Mike and stuff too. Big Mike. You can really say, oh damn, he has the same birthday as my sister. Well, I'm not gonna wait that long in December, so probably the anniversary of his death in the summertime we can do that.
Right.
But yeah, like Big Mike and shit like that. He has the same sensibilities as Scarface, but Mike again, he had more of a fucking player side mixed in with like a awareness side and shit too. But
Right.
Scarface himself was just hell. The first mother rapper to mention the Scarface movie. Let's start right there. Way before Cool G Rap and Nas and all them niggas. Like nigga named himself Scarface and shit.
Right. Right.
So and then when we talk about the solo discography,
Mm-hmm.
like in Mr. Scarface's back, I felt like without that album, we wouldn't have albums like Ready to Die, Reasonable Doubt, Get Rich or Die Trying, Good Kid, Mad City. It
Mm-hmm.
just had like that storytelling, hustler. Some of them sensibilities was born with that album. Like, yeah, I love the Diary, but I have to go back to Mr. Scarface's back any fucking day and shit like that too. Shout out to my nigga Dame, by the way. We still got some work to do. I haven't forgot we're talking about the Made album and shit too. So
Right.
shout out to him.
Yep.
And yeah, man, Scarface I'm gonna end off the list with him.
Number one is Jay Z. I mean, the biggest rap mogul I want to say, and many again coming from the projects, Marcy projects and making it big and going indie at first, and then letting Def Jam come to him and Dame and signing that major first contract, and you know people forget he was on Priority Records too before Def Jam, and
Yes.
you know he was a hustler. He hustled on the block, and you know writing his rhymes on like brown paper bags, and then memorizing them and making songs in his head where he ain't gotta write it no more, and he left the hood and he became a big time star, and he's another one of those artists that kept elevating with each album, from Reasonable Doubt to Volume One to Volume Two, Volume Three, Blueprint Classic, and he just got better over time, and he's collaborated with everybody from his woman Beyonce, Michael Jackson, and Nas, and it's so many everybody's collaborated with, and still it's still relevant now. He's another artist that's still relevant now in this day and age, and working with a lot of the younger cats, and you know having um, Rockaware and a huge successful clothing line, and Rockaware Films, and you know doing Rock Nation and starting that company and signing new artists to that company, and you know hooking up with the NFL, and if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have had the great Super Bowl halftime show with Dr. Dre and Snoop and Mary, Eminem, 50 Cent. You know what I'm saying? It was just a great show, and Kendrick was on that, and Anderson Paak, and without Jay Z, we wouldn't have had that, and I hope it continues. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah, people go mad at him when he joined the NFL and shit.
yeah, I mean, we want to see social change. Like the entertainment is good, but we want to see social change. Like the NFL is still racist towards hiring black coaches. We need to see more of that. We need to see more black coaches on these teams. You know what I'm saying? Like every Bill Belichick is great, but I'm pretty sure we have a black Bill Belichick that we haven't tapped into yet. And we need to see more people of color get hired. The whole league is basically us. That's the talent on the field. You know what I'm saying? Like, so why not have our people coaching our people? You know what I'm saying? And that needs to
Hmm.
change. And you know, um, I think he has to do more. He has to do more socially for his people. But the halftime show was great, and he's like definitely one of those like major influences when it comes to entertainment, and he's done everything. He's definitely a legend, and one of my favorite artists. And um he could be like the new like the new version hip hop wise of like a Jesse Jackson. But I want to hear him more though. Like he speaks when he wants to, but I need to hear him more in interviews speak on like social injustice and stuff like that. I feel like he kind of like shies away from that stuff. You know what I mean? He was instrumental in Obama. First black president ever in this country, was instrumental in Obama getting elected, and that's the only time I've ever voted for any president, because I didn't vote before Obama, I didn't vote after Obama. But Jay Z was a major part of that, and I've read that in the Decoded book. His
Yeah,
whole his whole
dope
how
book.
his friendship, yeah, how his friendship started with Obama and everything. And I feel like I need to hear him more though. I need to hear him more when 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 somebody like George Floyd gets innocently killed by the cops. I need to hear Jay Z speak on it. Don't just donate money to charity or foundation for the dude. Like, I need to hear you on you know CNN talking about it. Like, it's good to hear from Dale Hewley, but I want to hear from Jay Z.
I'm tired of deal. You low
You know what I'm
key.
saying? Dale Hewley's gonna speak. We know that he's gonna speak about. He's been doing that in a lot, over the years in his stand up. But I want to hear from Jay Z, since you're considered a major, influencer to this culture, and people look up to you. I need to hear Jay Z when an innocent, black man gets killed by the cops. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think he does that
Right.
enough. I think Ice Cube could do it, but I want to hear Jay Z do it though.
That's
You know,
true.
that's just me. You know what I'm saying? It's like Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton. They don't run away from speaking their mind on those topics. So if Jay Z want to be, you want if he ever chose to run for president one day, God forbid, you want that black vote. You gotta speak to your people, and it can't just be through a 16 ball. You know.
Right.
So that's just me. I feel like you need to speak up more when it comes to issues like that.
True. True. Like people have their opinions about that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like motherfuckers like I hear your point about that, but it's like there's certain motherfuckers that just always love to take a social change whenever an entertainer or somebody famous speaks out about that and stuff like that. I'm not saying that you do it and stuff like that too, but it's just like whenever it comes to certain rappers and stuff like that, like they can speak out against social change, but let's just be real how genuine they can be about that. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Yeah, man. Because trust me, like I've read reports that how JMB, they spoke out against stuff. They appeared in rallies and stuff like that too. Which, anybody can like donate anything and shit like that too. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It's like
Yeah.
it takes more than just throwing a check around and stuff like that. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
But let me see you on Fox. Fox. Not Fox. Yeah. Let me see you on Fox News or CNN talking about how it made you feel. If you was disgusted when you saw video of George Floyd with a knee on his neck. We want to know. We want to know. I'm pretty sure the Beehive want to know from Beyonce what she felt about watching that video. That's the type of things that people are gonna remember forever. So it's like, I want to see Jay Z talk about those issues. Don't shy away from it and donate money and be like, oh well, Jay Z is supporting. Yeah, but we want to hear you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We want to hear what you thought about it. You know.
Yeah. But yeah, man, this is definitely a dope fucking list and shit like that.
Mm,
So now we got the news that Unsung is coming back for a season March 6th,
right.
which that took me by surprise and stuff like that. That's like literally 2 weeks. And the lineup,
They need to. That's another. They need to. They've never promoted that show, and people somehow know about
right,
the show. I've never seen them promote the show on social media.
right, because they used to, but this is like over the years. I don't know. It's like TV One just treats Unsung like it's like a second hand, and that's like one of the channels that really brought them hella ratings and shit. But when they got more successful programming and shit like that, they want to focus more on those. But
Mm,
like I said, I'm just grateful we sort of got the show because I don't even think they're gonna
right.
cancel it anytime soon. But my only gripe is that now it's like the seasons are more less and less and less.
Mm,
'Cause I think the last season was about 8 episodes. This season for now, they got 5 people. And let's talk about this, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm fans of pretty much 3 of the artists on this list. One of the artists I've not really listed in music like that, and the other artist, which you might not be surprised, I'm not a fan of. So let's start with the first one, Soul for Real. You said what?
mm. No,
Soul
I
for
hear you.
Real.
Yeah. Um. That's gonna be. I
Candy.
want to. I mean, I pretty much. We pretty much know about Soul for Real already, so I want to see what they got to say. I mean, is it anything new?
Yeah, because I know one of the members was in jail,
Yes.
so I know they're gonna highlight that shit.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. This one might be interest to me because when it comes to the whole boy band ordeal, that whole boy band, they were kind of in the beginning of that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm talking about after New Edition, before
112.
like around the whole immature,
Mm-hmm.
before B2K era, but they made actually better music and stuff.
Before 112 and Jagged Edge.
Yeah, but see, with 112 and Jagger, they were more like the crooners.
Mm-hmm.
Soulful Will was more like for like the young teenage demographic, I guess. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
Like everyone knows Candy Rain, which we've done a very dope review
Yes, that was great.
on that one. The one with the crazy album cover
Yes.
and shit.
I like the second
Yeah,
one album too. I thought the second one was good. It just wasn't promoted.
yeah, I heard good things about the second one and shit too. Yeah, because I think at that time Andre Harrell had left that labels for Motown, and Heavy D took over
Right.
and stuff like that. Yeah, man. But I've never actually heard the second album. I've heard
Yeah.
bits and pieces, but I know Puffy did some stuff with that one.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Yeah.
think they were actually, I think we said they were actually about to sign to Bad Boy or some shit, or they were in
Was
talks.
it? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. We mentioned that sometime because a review we did
Mm. Yeah.
was years ago and stuff like that. Because I remember that was the same day I went to that Wu-Tang concert and shit. So,
Right.
yeah, man. So, it's
That's
like,
gonna.
yeah, man, it's interesting. They were talking about signing the
Mm-hmm.
Bad Boy, but yeah. All right, so that one I'm interested in that one. So
Right.
then we got Moni Love, which I've heard about Moni Love getting an unsung
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that months ago. So that one again I'm very interested in because the reviews we done itself was very good because I don't think anyone that's ever talked about Moni Love. So
Mm-hmm.
and like I said, she came from the whole Queen Latifah era. I really want to know why she's not dropping no more music because I've heard stories over the years. So I want to know
Um,
what went wrong
she
and
needs to.
stuff like
I mean, I don't. I don't know. I think maybe she's tried and she just couldn't get signed, or maybe
true.
she couldn't put it out independently. But I mean, she needs to be still dropping music.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, she's still doing her thing. 'Cause I know she's like a
Hmm.
radio host and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
she still does a thing in interviews and lectures. So it's
And
not
they
like she's completely
supposedly they went over to London to film that because she when she was on I think the Breakfast Club she was talking about it.
yeah. They went to
So
London. Yep.
that's interesting.
Yeah. All right. Delma Houston is the next one. Now, this is the one I've not really heard a lot of her music. I'm not gonna hold you, but I've known she had that song on Motown, "Don't Leave Me This Way," which that was a cover of the Harold Melvin and the Blue Note song and stuff like that.
Right.
Like I said, I don't know too much about Delma Houston, so but again, I'm kind of interested because like an artist I don't know, I can get like more information about. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually excited about watching this one.
Right.
You know, you know about Delma Houston?
Nah, I never. I don't think I've heard about her.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was around the time of Motown before Rick James, after the Jacksons left Motown, that weird era
Okay.
and stuff like that too. So, but in my opinion, I kind of would prefer High Energy Unsung if you want to go to
Mm.
that era because I feel like High Energy never got its just due, in my opinion. And that first album is classic. It's a
Yeah.
lost Motown classic, in my opinion. I don't give a fuck what no one says. Now, the most anticipated one,
Mm-hmm.
Pete motherfucking Rock.
Mm.
Wow.
That's gonna be interesting,
Yeah, I'm just Pete Rock, an unsung.
right?
Personally, I wouldn't call him unsung, but I'm always interested in hearing one of my favorite producers' stories. And I'm just like, y'all picked a
Mm-hmm.
producer Heavy D's cousin. Like his
Right.
career from Heavy D and the Boys, to Pete Rock and CL Smooth,
Right.
issues with Electro Record, shoving the whole Baby Pot album and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. I'm kind of interested in hearing about this, and I know recently he has some shit to say about Nas too. So
Right.
we might get a little bit of that on this unsung. We may never know.
Mm.
Now my least
Interesting.
favorite episode, PM Dawn. I'm,
Oh Lord.
I'm not. Again, do I consider them unsung? Believe it or not, I do because they kind of introduced the whole. I'm not gonna say they introduced the whole singer rapper, but they were
Mm-hmm.
the shit that there was the stuff that they were talking about in their music and stuff like that. People won't really talk about that years later.
Right.
Like I hate that song "Set Adrift for Memory Bliss." I'm gonna be real. I hate that fucking track and stuff.
Mm.
I do want to hear their take about how Karis One bum rushed their fucking show
Right.
and stuff like that too. So, and I know that one of the members was accused of child molestation, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm.
So, of course, they would save that for the last one because that's like the heavy one.
Right.
But again, other than that, I'm actually cool with this fucking list for now and stuff like that. It's a
Mm.
better lineup than last year because last year
Yes,
they
sir.
had some questionable motherfuckers like Bobby V and Life Jennings and shit like that.
Oh Lord.
Like Keith Washington and Hezekiah Walker, they were
Mm.
they were cool. I can accept that,
I
but
like Selena Johnson episode too.
that was
That was
cool.
good.
I'm not the biggest Queen Johnson fan, but that was a cool episode.
Yeah.
I think the best episode that season was Morris Day and the Jones Girls
Yeah. Those two
and
were
shit
good.
like that.
Those were good.
They had another one. Who was the other one and shit? It was a rapper. Mystical, yeah, Mystical was good too.
Mystical was good. Yeah. Mystical was
Yeah,
good.
but again, I already knew his story
Mm-hmm.
left and right, and it's kind of funny because night that time Vlad interview was doing his interview with them and shit like that.
Mm.
So,
Right.
but again, maybe they might add some more people and shit like that. But I'm kind of like thinking to myself, I guess they're done adding people from the '60s and the '50s and shit like that. I'm surprised they actually picked the '70s
Right.
artists and stuff like that. With Delma Houston. Because I've heard a lot of people say they're kind of like with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's not like a lot of '50s or '60s artists being highlighted
Right.
or whatever, shit like that. But
Mm-hmm.
but I also want to still get back to doing the classic unsung because I mentioned that, but
Mm-hmm.
I never had a chance to really go into that and stuff like that. We were supposed to have done the Big Daddy Kane one first, but
Yeah.
um, we might. Might get into that and shit like that too. It's just the process of even sending the episodes of Unsung was what really got me aggravated and shit like that. Cause just you getting the 50 minute and then I have to send it to different emails. So I gotta
Yeah.
really send this shit to you and shit like that. Even if I have to fucking mail it and stuff like that. I don't even fucking mind and stuff too because but I'm not even gonna do that because I'm not trying to pay no $5 or $6 just to mail a CD and shit like that. We're gonna I've had just email it, but technology's on some bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can stay on for like another 5 or 7 minutes and
Yeah.
shit because I'm not even that tired. But yeah, this was a good video
This
and
is
stuff.
good. This is good.
This was good. I think when we get to maybe the 60 or 70, we can do like a top hip hop producer or some shit like that, or hip
Yeah.
hop songwriter or some shit. I don't know.
True.
But yeah, man, y'all better be loving this hip hop shit we doing.
Right.
People who actually know what they fuck they talking about, you know.
Oh man.
Yeah, man. What else? Um, really cannot wait to talk about the shit we got lined up this fucking week with the
Yeah.
Maxwell
Definitely.
and stuff. Whew, like I said, I don't know why I haven't even talked about that album up to this point and shit, but
Right.
yeah, but you have now, right?
Yeah. I have yeah now and Black Summer's Night Volume One. I have those. I had Urban Handshake, but the CD had gotten damaged. I remember BJ had asked me if I had it on vinyl, but he never said if he was sending it or not.
Yeah, because that album's kind of hard to come by on vinyl. I've
Yeah,
seen the album in stores one time on vinyl, never again.
because he said like he saw it at the record store he went to, but he never. That was like months ago. He asked me about that.
Yeah,
You know.
if I see it in vinyl, I'll probably
Yeah,
see what I can do and shit. But
we
the
should.
only Maxwell album in vinyl I see consistently is Embryo, where I'm at, you know.
Yeah, I see Embria a lot, and Embria to me was like one of his most underrated. I'm like, I don't hear
That's his
nobody
most.
mention that album.
His first two albums are my favorites and shit. It's
Yeah, same,
always
same.
Now, and I'll even throw in Black Summer, even though
Mm,
Black Summer it was a good album and shit too.
right.
It's like with Now,
Yeah, I
it
gotta
was
go back and hear that because I haven't heard that in years.
it was just like it was conventional for Maxwell.
Mm,
It was good, but it gets a bit too overhyped. I'm not even gonna hold you.
right.
Because the Maxwell community treat that like that's like is only good, but I'm just like okay, relax.
Yeah.
Like, and then don't even get me on the This Woman's Work song.
Oh
Jesus,
Lord, they play that a lot.
I'm so fucking tired of that song. And you know me, I love Maxwell.
Mm,
I love Maxwell. I mean, when it comes to neo soul, it's D'Angelo,
mm,
Maxwell, Erica Badu. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? But it's just like motherfucker with that This Woman's Work song. And
mm-hmm.
I remember I was in high school and niggas will try to sing that shit every fucking day
Right.
and stuff like that. Cause I think it was in some movie at that time and it got like a popularity boost
Mm,
or whatever. But I'm just like, Jesus Christ, I get it. And they'll start crying when they was
mm-hmm.
singing that shit. I'm just like, y'all gotta be some most pussy simps I've ever seen in my life.
Oh Lord.
But yeah, man, I
Yeah.
can't wait to the next verses. Give me a good hip hop verses and shit, man. I'm
Please,
tired.
please.
Like Anthony Hamilton just wax music.
That was bad.
Once Anthony performed Point of It All, I was just like, yeah. And I was even falling asleep to that shit while I was
Mm,
driving. That's how much that
right.
shit was boring me to a point and shit.
Mm, I
Hmm.
don't know.
Give me a good hip hop verses, not no sports verses. A good old fashioned. Cause not just trying to branch out. It's like if I see
Mm-hmm.
a rock, it's like keep that shit to us and shit like that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like I don't have nothing against rock music. You know me,
Right.
but keep that shit in the community. That's all I gotta say.
Facts.
Niggas always want to branch out just because they get some money and shit. Calm down.
Mm,
Like, hmm. And if y'all do something, if they do go into swallow, at least get some black rockers like Lenny Kravitz or Bad Brains.
right,
Um, what's old boy's name? Living Color and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Hell, even do like a black. I even hate the term black rock, but
Mm-hmm,
like a concert, just highlight that, like y'all did for Black Jesus and shit.
mm-hmm. Facts.
And you know who I mean by Black Jesus and shit. So
Oh Lord. Mm-mm.
yeah, man. What time is it? Just about a couple more minutes. I can talk. I'm trying to figure out what movie I want to watch tonight because I'm not even that tired.
Right.
I was
Yeah,
too busy licking faces and shit.
you was licking faces.
Yeah, I kind of pulled a Dave Chappelle. I was at a date and well, we were actually at the backseat of my fucking car and stuff like that. I'm not even gonna hold you.
Right.
No LL Cool J. Um, and we were just doing some good. We were just doing some shit, and then I just pulled a Dave
Uh,
Chappelle,
you
licked
was
the side
licking
of.
faces. It's okay. You texted that to me. I didn't know what the hell you was talking about. I'm like, what? Licking
Yeah, because I was
faces.
just
Wow.
like, boy, and then I'm not gonna say no name 'cause like I said, I
Mm,
respect it, but she did this
right.
one trick where I just started like screaming like Donkey Kong or some shit like that. I was like, oh, what the fuck?
Oh
Like,
man.
ooh, 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 ooh. I was like, oh
Yeah,
shit, like
you was
damn.
definitely you was
I don't
definitely
know
sound
what
like
the
a monkey.
I don't know what the fuck, yo, like she had me like,
Mm,
cause I was would have done this shit mad earlier, but I didn't expect to be back home until I thought I was gonna be back home at least by like midnight, but
right.
I was just like, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna enjoy myself because try. I know tries gonna be up.
You was definitely sounding like a monkey just now.
Like, ooh, 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 ooh. Yeah, because I don't know what the. It's like she got in that spot right, and then
Mm,
next thing you know it, she just like she just went ham and stuff like that. I was just like, oh
mm.
shit, ooh,
Oh man,
yeah, man. Like I said,
that's
these older
funny.
women, you gotta get you an older woman, man. I'm
I see.
telling you, man, it'll teach you some shit you never known before and shit. That's like I said,
Oh man.
yeah, man. But anyway, I'm gonna call it a night because I do gotta plan out my next move and shit like that before I go to bed.
Right.
But I do got a few announcements. So tonight I'm gonna drop the Maxwell Urban Hang Suite. That review. What time did I say that review was gonna be? Oh yeah, I got up at 10. That review is gonna be 11 o'clock and
That's
stuff like
Wednesday. That's gonna be Wednesday.
when yeah today
Okay.
because I'm gonna drop this on Wednesday
All right.
and stuff like that. So I'm talking like it's on Wednesday. So I know it's a mind trip, but it be tripping me out too. Fuck it.
Yeah.
And so Thursday is a double review. This is for Try. The double review of John Nay's first two albums and stuff like that.
Okay.
I really cannot wait to talk about that one. Speaking of Queen Latifah, Flavor Unit
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. Then I got some more stuff I got planned lined up for next week and stuff too. Like I said, March is going to be a David Bowie month. We're going to talk about like the Berlin trilogy and then also talk about the Scary Monsters album and stuff too, which
Right.
that can be well. Actually, I'm gonna take that back. So I'm gonna replace the Scary Monsters. Talk about Iggy Pop's Lust for Life, since that was still in the Berlin trilogy. It's kind of I'll explain. I'll explain that when the time comes and shit. But
Right.
other than that, that's all that got lined up for right now. And I'm just gonna say this once, and I'm gonna say it once and for all. If you are gonna want the Tupac beef episode, the Eminem beef episode, it's not gonna come anytime soon. I'm just gonna let you guys know that right now and stuff like that, because I know People have been asking me about that, but that's gonna come probably middle of this year, if anything, because I still got a lot of stuff to deal with. So I'm just gonna say it once and for all. With that being said, hope you have a good night, try,
All right, you too.
and I'll see y'all later. Peace.